again, every director, every reader, every critic will have an interpretation of that. Correct? Was the ghost real? Of course, you know, there are more psychologically inclined to say no. Kasi nga siya lang nakakarinig kay ghost, di ba? Siya lang eh. No point in the play does the ghost speak to anyone or does anyone hear the ghost. In fact, in Act 3, Gertrude doesn't even see the ghost. You know it's real because in the beginning, people see it. Right? But whether or not that ghost is a ghost of his father is already questionable. Kasi nga, that confirmation of identity only happens with Hamlet. And it's actually Hamlet who says, "You're my father" first, before the father says, "I am your father," which is kind of interesting. Is this wish fulfillment, etc.? And of course, Horatio also says, you know, these devils, they take these shapes. And so there are all kinds of ways that you could question the existence of the ghost. So is it real? I don't know. If you talk about the cosmography of the time, it's very possible that it's real. It's also a standard feature of a revenge tragedy, of which was the genre that was Hamlet is the genre of revenge tragedy, which was the standard. It was the most popular form of Elizabethan and especially Jacobean theater. And the revenge tragedy formula, which is in fact taken from Seneca, always begins with a ghost. There's a ghost who comes on stage. The ghost says, "Avenge my death," and gives the backstory. And that's sort of the prologue. Always. This is standard formula. Shakespeare changes that. Kaya mahal na mahal ko si Shakespeare. Changes that a bit and makes the fucking prologue ghost a character. Ayan. And then, character na nga siya, tapos hindi mo pa alam kung real o hindi. Oh, ibang klaseng writer to, grabe. Diba? But it is, what I'm saying is, it's part of the formula. Shakespeare tweaks it a bit, but it is a formula. So is it real? Real, yes. But then, of course, when you have 20th century, 21st century, all psychological, especially in films, for example, voiceover na lang si ghost, ganyan. So talagang it's in his head. So that's a possible interpretation too, right? But then that's the key thing, is interpretation. If you talk about it in its original, then yes, it was real. And yes, it was formulaic. And yes, it was standard to the genre.